Indian students are a global lot these days. But what that means is a friction between the governments of two countries can have an immediate fallout on this younger lot. I have with me a group of students from India here in Canada. Let's speak to them about their expectations now that the relations between India and Canada seem to be improving. Many thanks all of you for speaking with NDTV. I'll start off with you. What expectation do you now have for the students, considering that there were some unique problems that students from India were facing in Canada? Do you think the fact that Prime Minister Modi is coming to Canada is a good sign even for the students?
I think it's an amazing sign, and as someone who calls herself a youth leader here in Calgary and Cheshire, I'm very, very happy to say that we, the students here as well as the Indian diaspora, we are eagerly ready to welcome Prime Minister Modi ji into Canada, and we really hope that this visit leads to a better alignment of Canada and India's values as well as their goals for both nations, and they work towards developing and building a mutually beneficial and effective relationship and alliance which can help and benefit both populations of India and Canada, and definitely can help some of our students as well, and we don't feel so split amongst our loyalties as well as amongst which country to support, because both of them are our homes. India is our Janmbhumi, Canada is our Karambhumi, and we really, really love both nations, and it absolutely hurts us and it breaks us to see the separation and the division that we see here in the Indian diaspora because of these geopolitical issues. So we really hope that the outcome of this visit leads to a more collaborative and a more positive relationship working for the benefit of both nations.
What are some of the issues that you feel should be addressed by the two nations, especially with regards to students? Any specific issues that you want addressed?
So for me particularly, I've been here since 2013. I haven't had any specific, issues that maybe the Canadians have done to me as Canadian too, I've met many lovely people here, so I haven't had any sort of racism or anything. But I do know that, my co-workers and colleagues and everything, they have experienced certain level of racism that I do believe that should be, noticed and that should be talked about. But regardless of that, I don't think there is anything that, brings, that's bad. But another thing I wanted to talk about was, again, with their, collaboration between India and Canada, past few years their relationships had gone down. So I also hope that the relationship goes back together and everyone is okay, because again, that's our country, this is our country too. So we hope everyone's on good terms with that too.
Also, a lot of Indian students who wanted to come in the recent past have faced issues with regards to student permits and uncertainty generally around whether they can come and study in Canada and whether it will be a smooth ride. Do both of you feel that with Prime Minister Modi now coming to Canada, having been invited by Prime Minister Carney, there will be a breaking of the ice, a thawing of the ice between the two sides that will help address some of these technical issues as well?
We certainly hope so, that it does kind of, open up those conversations. And with all of these, it all starts from the social stigma against immigrants that's growing in Canada, like we've seen happen in the US before us. And I'm hoping that this is a step in the right direction where, you can, as you mentioned, break the ice. And more importantly, you can address the issues. They're very real. The growing Hinduphobia in Canada is very real. And general distaste of immigrants is very real. And they're just not being overlooked so often. And I hope that now that we have a new Prime Minister, we have Prime Minister Modi, who was invited even though he initially wasn't, and I hope we can amend those relationships and things get a lot easier for people who are trying to come here, because as someone who was born here, who's lucky enough to call this place a home, I'm very happy living here. I think it's a great step for a lot of youths in India to come here as well, and everyone deserves to have that opportunity.